Hi folks, and welcome back to the vlog. I hope these past videos have been of some help to you. This week I'm going to be looking at commissions, so if you wanted to commission a painting from an artist. Now, this is not a universal thing with every gallery. It may be slightly different the way it's set up. So I can only talk from my own experience from this. But the first thing to consider with a commission is if you have fallen in love with a painting, even though it's not exactly of a scene that you may like, do consider that there is something about the intrinsic makeup of a painting that can move you that another painting by the same artist just wouldn't do. For my instance, for example, I have bought paintings of Scotland, of places I've never been, simply because the painting says something to me. So that's worth bearing in mind, because a commission is, of course, always an unknown quantity. That said, once you've decided that you love this artist's work, but this is the scene you'd like them to paint, then there becomes the next process is the way the artist works. So some artists will work from a photograph in their studio and paint from something that you've provided or a scene, or another artist may take that scene and say, okay, that's the picture, but I know that place well and I'll go along there and I'll do my own shots of the area so that they get up a body of picture to get a feel for the area. There are other painters called plein air painters who only paint at a location. So if you were talking about a commission of a specific place and the painter lived in a different part of the country, it's going to be a lot more difficult for them to be able to go to that place and be able to do this commission for you. So it's worth looking and bearing in mind and talking to the gallery about how the best way to go about it. That said, if it is a scene that's not going to have to get them traveling up and down the country, it's a scene they know, or they can work from photographs, or your photographs are prepared to, the chances are that a painting of a specific size by a specific artist won't be any more dear to get a commission than it would be to buy a piece of the same size. So, for example, if you bought a 50 by 50 painting from Julian Mason, the painting may be £650, but the commission would be no different. It will be the same price. So you don't pay any more for a commission. What the gallery may well do is they may take a down payment, a non-returnable deposit. This is not universal again, but it may happen specifically if you've asked for a specific scene that they would find, the gallery or the artist would find very difficult to sell on afterwards. So at least what happens with that deposit is that the artist's canvas, paints, mediums, time is covered a little bit. The basic costs are covered a little bit should you decide not to go with the finished commission. In my mind, 99% of the commissions I get are of places that we know and are of local to where the gallery is or local to where the artist is, and therefore we're easily able to sell on the painting afterwards if it's not too specific, and in those cases we wouldn't bother with a deposit for it. So we're prepared to have it painted and then come back to the customer once it's done and get their approval on it if they like it. But as I say, this isn't universal. There are changes in this, that and the other to the way people work, so it's always worth checking with the gallery. But it's not a daunting prospect. The last thing is about timing. Now, an artist I've got some artists that paint incredibly quickly and they really work fast. That's just the way they are as painters. They're fast-moving painters. You've got other painters that will paint quite meticulously and quite slowly, and then they have drying processes. So you've got to take, if it's an oil with very thick oil, it might take 2 or 3 weeks to dry, and then it's got to be framed, etc. So there might be quite a long lead time. So it's worth bearing that in mind with a commission too. Specific sizes and timings and everything else may come into play. Great, I hope that's been helpful. I'm going to leave you with another phenomenal artist who's with us, and I hope you enjoy their work as much as I do. Thanks for popping in for now. Bye bye.